we're going to do the same thing here we did with the case study for our strong acid. Now, of course, we have a weak acid, and we know that because we're given a Ka. We've done some weak acid problems before, and remember, it's 2 steps. Your first step is to figure out the HOH neutralization. Then, how much of whatever is left will dissociate. So I always think of it as 2 distinct steps. Here I have my hydrogen cyanide, and I am titrating it with my strong base, sodium hydroxide. So we're not going to do an initial pure HCN. We've done that before. Instead, we're going to start with our 8 milliliters added. So again, just like the strong acid problems, we want to do the neutralization first. One slight difference though, because we're not just reacting with the H. Since it's a weak acid, it exists as HCN. So instead of just H here, we're going to do HCN. We're going to go just hydroxide because that's not doing anything, that's a spectator. And we do want to look at when that neutralizes, the anion will be left behind. And just for balancing purposes, we'll put the water, although of course that doesn't matter. All right, so my starting HCN, again, I got to figure out not the molarity, but the moles. So I have 50 milliliters. And my given molarity I'm going to express again as millimoles, so it'll cancel out. So I have 5 millimoles of HCN. That's how many particles I have, as opposed to the concentration. And I'll do the same thing with my hydroxide. I've added 8 milliliters. My concentration, my molarity again, I will express in millis. And I don't have any cyanide in the beginning. Even though some of this would be dissociated, it's too small to worry about. So I'm going to save that for my second part. So now again, when these neutralize, they're going to do so until all of this goes away. And if all of this reacts, it's going to take with it the same amount of H. That's always going to go to 0. And now when it reacts with that H, it leaves behind the same amount of Cn. So that's my first part. Now the second thing, my second part is to do the dissociation. So my starting HCN is going to be this. Now here's where we have a difference, because before we were dealing with molarity, but I have this expressed as millimoles. Well, eventually what we want to do is do our Ka, our equilibrium, which again is in molarity. And so again, what we're looking to get to is our Ka, which again, if we focus on the brackets, That's molarity concentration. And if you write that a few times, that's really going to help clarify in your mind when we use molarity and when we use moles. So this is what we need, but we're in millimoles. So I need to express this millimoles versus milliliters. And again, we have to be careful here because what's my milliliters? Well, I had 50 milliliters and I added 8. Now my starting cyanide, I have 0.8. And again, it's in the same volume. They're together. Now again, what we're doing, we're figuring out how much of this is going to dissociate. So some of it will dissociate. So we're going to lose some of this. We're going to form an equal amount of this and this. So again, that's already there. We're going to form some more. This amount came from our neutralization. This amount's coming from our dissociation. Now, if we look at the math here, well, here's some math nobody wants to do. And as you can expect, here, we're definitely going to have to drop those x's. And so now I can take all of my values and plug them in for Ka. And I'm given my Ka. And so my hydrogen content is X. My cyanide content, again, I'm going to drop that X because it's so small, we don't care about it. It's too small to worry about. And mathematically, it'd be pretty problematic to try to solve that. It's messy enough as it is. Likewise, my HCN concentration, I'm going to drop that in minus X. So now I have X, and again, I have to stop and think, what did I just solve? What is X? Why is it significant? Well, again, the X that we care about is the hydrogen content because we're calculating pH. And so pH is the negative log of H, which I just solved above. I have my equivalence point. That's where acids and bases are equal. My H and my OH is equal. And then halfway to the equivalence point would be, well, halfway. And I can do this simple math in my head. What's the equivalence point? Well, if I have equal molarity of these two things, the equivalence point is when 50 milliliters of my strong base is added. That's the equivalence point. Well, halfway there, of course, is 25 milliliters. So when I add 25 milliliters of my sodium hydroxide, I get to the halfway point. Again, you could use the dilution equation if you needed to. Molarity times volume equals molarity times volume. Now remember, the significance of the halfway point is that the pH is equal to pKa. Well, I'm given Ka. And let's see, pKa, what's that equal to? That's equal to the negative log of Ka. So pKa Well, of course, they give me my Ka. And if that's my Ka, pKa, and my pH is equal to that, that's my answer. So we already know that the equivalence point is going to happen when we add 50 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. We figured that out in the last problem. So we have to think about what's left. So we have some hydrogen cyanide. We're reacting it with sodium hydroxide. That's going to, I'm going to take that off. The hydroxide and hydrogen, of course, will turn to water, leaving behind cyanide. And you wouldn't necessarily have to work this out, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. I know this has to be the same as this because they're in equal volumes and I'm looking for equivalence point. So if this is what I start with, and this is what I end with, and all of it again is going to react. And all of that to say, when this reacts, it will leave behind an equal amount of cyanide. So now all of my acid and my base are gone. I've done my first part, my reaction. Now I gotta think, well, what's gonna happen? In the last problem we said, okay, well, how is the remaining acid gonna dissociate? But now we gotta think, well, what's gonna happen if CN, which is a conjugate base of my acid, remember, what's that gonna do? If I have the conjugate base by itself, now it's gonna eye that water. And it's going to try to take that hydrogen back from the water because it's more stable in this form. So it loses all of the hydrogen. It was taken by hydroxide. Now it's hanging out. It needs a rebound. And so there's water. So now water is going to have its hydrogen removed by cyanide. So there's my first problem, my neutralization. And then my second problem, I have to think, okay, cyanide is going to hit on water and take back the hydrogen, leaving behind hydroxide. Well, what do I start with? I know my cyanide. And I added 50 milliliters. I added an equal amount of this. And I don't have any of this nor any of this. Now some of this is going to recapture that hydrogen. How much? I don't know. But however much of it does is going to go away. It's going to form this and an equal amount of this. I'm going to go ahead and divide that. Actually, I won't even worry about dividing it. But one other thing that's easy to miss. I'm given my Ka for my acid. But now we switched it up. Now we're looking at the base. I can't use Ka when I'm doing a base. Instead, I need Kb. And that's not easy to remember. It doesn't necessarily stand out. And so I'm going to divide both sides by my Ka. And so my Kb is equal to my products x times x divided by my reactant. And again, I'm going to drop that negative x. We have to be careful again because what did I just find? I found X, which is hydroxide. But if I'm looking for the pH, and I left off the question, but they're asking for pH. If I'm looking for pH, I have to solve for that. And so, of course, H times OH which I can then plug into the negative log of H. We could have also found POH here and done the similar thing. Either way.